Liz Coyne.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm so good. I'm having an excellent day.
You are a ray of light. You're very happy. You got a
gosh.
lovely smile.
Thank you.
It's nice to have you here.
Thank you. It's nice to be here, and shout out to my orthodontist.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Did you get braces in high school?
I did. It was middle school actually, which
Yeah.
was like peak braces time.
What's middle school here?
Oh, middle school here for me was just 7th and 8th grade. So I think you're 12 to 14.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough time having braces.
Yeah, it's a tough time being in middle school, but that's when you learn who you are.
Yeah.
That's when you find out.
I remember when I got braces and I was like kind of excited for it. I thought, oh, that's going to be cool. And then he put them on. I looked in the mirror and I nearly cried. I was like, this is devastating. And I chose the color blue for my first time. If you're getting braces, don't do colors for the first time. Just go clear. It was mortifying. I felt like one of those nerdy kids in the movies that's going to walk outside and just get beaten up.
Yeah, I mean, were you?
No.
No, you were cool. Oh,
I wasn't cool.
Hello, Mr. Cool Guy. Look out. I got the colors too, but I would make them like match my outfits or my mood. So like if Christmas was coming up, red and green on my teeth. If we're Halloween, it's black and orange. Like I really was a seasonal braid. Did they not change your color braces?
They did once a month, but I feel like it's different for females than males for some reason. I feel like women, because you guys can do that.
We
You
can
dress
we
up
get
and-
everything. They got to give men more stuff.
Yeah. It needs to be more socially accepted to have weird colours. Mate, I think it was more an internal battle, don't I? So yeah, good to have you. How
Thank you.
How you been? You been good?
Oh, I've been so good. Yeah, I've been in full prep mode to go to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival at the end of the month.
Ah.
Yeah. Have you
tell
been
me.
before?
No.
No? Okay. So me neither. I've never been. It's my first time going, but it's like the biggest theater and comedy festival in the whole wide world. And it happens in Edinburgh, Scotland, where I've also never been, but I'm pronouncing it right because I've practiced Edinburgh. But yeah, I'm going at the end of the month with my one-woman show. I'm taking my show to perform every day for 12 straight days in Scotland. Yeah.
Damn.
I know. And so that's what I've been focused on.
Okay, so how long's your show? Tell me about it. What's the content? What have you been working on?
Oh, yes. Okay. The show is called Lizzy Sunshine. So thank you for calling me a ray of sunshine at the beginning. That was incredible branding that you didn't even mean to do. So it's called Lizzy Sunshine, and it's actually it's closer to a play than it is like a stand-up hour. It's mostly scripted and it tells a story, and it's a one-woman double act. So essentially, I play myself, my character, Lizzy Sunshine. She's there to do the show with her show partner. It's a double act, and he's running late. And so she needs to cover until he can get there. So the whole show is like stalling and covering all of the parts and doing different characters and crazy stuff in order to save the show until he gets there.
That's cool.
Thank you. I think so too. Yeah.
So how did you come up with this? Like, what's your process?
Yeah. I came up with it a little over a year ago. And the character Lizzy Sunshine has definitely like lived in me. It's of me, obviously. You can't go too far from self. Mm-hmm. And it's this kind of ultra positive, like rose-colored eyeballs, super fun, can like read the room, like energy of a career politician and a kindergarten teacher at the same time. And so I just kind of wrote from that character's perspective. I put bits into it. But the premise of someone who's not showing up and you have to do all the work is actually in the play. It's metaphorical for what it feels like to be a loved one of addiction, of someone with addiction. Said that wrong. So like, let's say for me, so now it's getting serious. But the show is basically, it's a one-woman double act by addiction's little sister. So growing up, my brother, almost my whole life has struggled with addiction and different things off and on, and it's a whole big long story. But this show is like, you hear a lot of stories about people with addiction, but you don't usually hear how maybe it affects the nuclear family or the people around them. So it's a comedy show, I promise. And it has this undercurrent and this feeling of like the absence of the person who's supposed to be there and like can't be there in the way you want them to.
Wow. That's cool.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So it goes for an hour?
It goes for an hour. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's a play for an hour by myself.
You're going to have a lot of fun.
I hope so. I'm going to be so tired, but this is like all I want to do. So I can't complain that I'm tired or that like my plate is full when like my request was to eat, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So how do you, like, obviously you haven't been to the stage where you're going to be performing. Is it in a theater, or how are you doing it?
Kind of. It's so the Fringe, like every place in the area turns into a venue. So a classroom or a bar, all these things turn into venues.
Mm-hmm.
So my place is a theater, but it's like a kind of like a classroom converted into a theater. So they put up curtains and pipe and drapes and lighting rigs and make it into a room. It seats about 56 people.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Gilded Balloon Patter House. The room is called the Bothy Room. And it's kind of cool because Bothy is also the name of a group in Scotland that does support work for family members of addicts. They like have like programming and events, and I have connected with them. So when I go to Scotland, I'll be meeting them as well, and they'll come see the show.
Wow.
So, yeah, a lot of stuff lately has been very like serendipitous and working well. And I'm doing the show here in New York if you want to come see it.
I would love to.
Yeah, it's this weekend. It's literally tomorrow.
Amazing. Literally tomorrow?
Literally tomorrow, Friday and Saturday at the Soho Playhouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will definitely come.
Please, I will give you the 50% off discount code for friends and family.
Thank you so
much,
Liz.
So generous.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to get into it.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously you're a good stand-up. I've seen you perform comedy, but you also do these amazing act-outs on Instagram, which are really cool.
Thank you.
They're really unique. And is your play going to sort of resemble some of the characters that you're doing on your Instagram reels and stuff like that?
Yeah, yes and no. I would say some of my biggest Instagram characters are not in the show, but the energy of them is. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any, like I have a character on Instagram called TSA Lady, and sometimes in the show I'll whip her out. There's a section of my show that's just called Stalling, and it's improvised. So it's crowd work vibes, it's stand-up, it's let's get someone on the stage with me. And I've actually written it into the script. It's the part of the show that's supposed to be hard, and it is supposed to scare me, and that I have to figure it out, the character, whatever does. So that is probably the section of the show that's the biggest wild card that might show up with one of my Instagram characters that I do. And yeah.
Wow. And how do you prepare for this? Like, are you trying little segments out on stage, or are you just doing it at home? Like, how are you doing this? How are you preparing for the hour?
Yes.
Because it's very different.
It's
doing like a one-person
different.
act out, I would imagine that would be difficult to do on an open mic.
Yeah, definitely. There's chunks. That's so fair. There's chunks of the show that do well at an open mic and that I can take and do. For example, I have this section where it's like it's like almost like a soft shoe dance that raindrops keep falling on my head. But everything I'm saying, it's like, oh, have you ever had a bad day? And then listing all of these horrible things until you're caught up in the storm. And like, that's like a little act out kind of section that I could do on a open mic. But no, I haven't really done this show specifically at open mics. I've just done it in different iterations. So last year I did it for the first time at a festival at the Pit. And that was the very first time. It was called Solo Com.
So you just raw dogged it.
I've mostly raw dogged it. Yeah. I mean, I had a director. I've had people look at it. It's usually like a trusted director or friend in the room, and then I just do the full show for just them. And that is humbling. If you can do your entire comedy 1 hour show for one person in a chair, you can do anything, because that shit is hard.
I know.
Because it's a lot of it's scripted. You know what I mean? Like, it's not totally just joke setup. And so lately I've been more in that headspace, like the acting headspace, than strictly stand up. But when I go do stand up, it's so fun because it's like, it feels a lot freer. Like, I can just kind of say what I'm thinking about instead of saying stuck, or not whatever, but in the script or the character. Yeah. And I will say, I am the weirdo at the stand-up open mics where everyone is like, what the hell is this girl doing? You know, like I went to one and I did this thing where I pretend that got grounded and sent to my room, and that I find my journal. And when I open it, the audience is my studio audience, and they live inside of my journal. And so then at an open mic, I'm like, to the audience. Like, everything I do is very audience participation based. And so that's weird at stand-up open mics, because it's just a bunch of grumpy stand-ups who are like, what is it? I hate this girl. Has way too much fucking energy for right now, you know? They hate me. They hate Joy.
They hate Joy. I mean, that.
Tell me I'm wrong, though.
You're not wrong.
I'm not wrong.
Hence why I said, like, that must be hard to try out on open mic. Because I'm trying to visualize you going crazy with, like, one-man show, like, acting out.
Yeah.
And then these comics going, the fuck?
Right. And I will say there are more mics in the city now that aren't so strictly stand-up. Like, I host a character mic every week where people can do solo character monologues. So it's, like, more friendly to try it there.
I would love to try that.
Every Friday, man, 6:30. I mean, I'm going to be gone in Fringe, so I have wonderful guest hosts, so you should still come through. But that's just a place to try something that's not stand-up. And fun fact, when stand-ups show up to that mic, they're not allowed to do their type 5. You have to do a character.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So where is that?
It's at the Pit. So they have an upstairs
Where's the Pit?
Space. Okay, the Pit is in Midtown on 29th Street between 6th and 7th.
Mm-hmm. And what time?
It's at 6:30
every Friday.
It's called the Fish Bowl.
There you go, guys.
Check it out, and it's a really good place if you want. You're like, I could do that. People love to look at characters on Instagram and go, oh, I could do that. You totally could. Just come to the mic.
So could I just go there, put a wig on, and just get weird for 5 minutes?
Yes, that's what it's for.
Yes.
That's what it's for, and that, my friend, is my favorite thing to do.
That sounds really fun.
Yeah, put on a wig and get weird for 5 minutes. For the love of Pete. It sounds like you would also like clowning. Have you done any clown?
I've never even heard of what clowning is. Is it the obvious? Is it when you act like
No, I mean, yes and no. The definition feels very nebulous, but I will say what clown, the kind of undercurrent of all clown, it's just like, it's a form of comedy. Let me not define clown on this podcast and people be like, wow, she's so way
Give
off.
Give it
a go. I'm generally new. I'm not 1,000% studied in it at the institute. There's like clown schools in France that people go to learn all of this, but it's like a very physical, very simple type of comedy form that has a lot to do with the audience. So it's called like complicité. Like, you look at the audience and you're with them. So to the audience, it could see kind of avant-garde, experimental, often like crazy colors and costumes. But it's clowning. An example of a modern day clown would be like Tracy Morgan, or like Robin Williams was a clown in like the kind of, it's a type of comedy. I'm nailing this definition.
No, okay.
It's very nebulous. There's a lot of places now that do it. There's a show every week called The Idiot's Hour on Wednesdays here in the Lower East Side. And that's like the hottest place for clown right now.
Okay. So did you have a bit of an improv background or acting background?
Yeah.
You're an improv girl?
I'm an improv girl. Look out.
Yeah.
Stand-ups also hate improv girls.
Well, a lot of stand-ups that a lot of comics I know have done improv classes.
Yeah.
And gone quite far with them. So I think there's something hereditary with the two. Is that the right word?
Yeah. They mix very well together.
Yeah.
And I typically think stand-ups who are open and go try improv end up being better stand-ups. You don't see as many people who start as improvisers and like love improv then go to stand-up, but when you do, they're all also pretty awesome.
Okay.
Because it's a comfortability with the audience is what improv gives you,
and it's a comfortability with act outs as well. Because I know several professional comics that have strong improv backgrounds. I mean, Robin Williams is a perfect example of having strong, and his act outs were just incredible. I mean, he was the king of act outs. Interesting.
Yeah, I love that. That was my first like dive into comedy, was improv and sketch comedy. Before I ever did stand-up, I did those, and I've been an actor. You can tell from my general vibe that I was raised in the theater.
Yes.
Oh, yes. A bitch loves a musical. I love a musical.
I bet you do.
Yeah, I really do. I really do. And that's the thing I say about my show, is that it's for people who love musicals and people who hate musicals who want to make fun of me. Because there's something, I also kind of very much make fun of myself and make fun of musicals, even though I love them so much.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Now, tell me, so when are you going to Edinburgh?
My flight is on the 26th of July. So what day is it today?
Not far off, or I think we're the 8th or 9th or something.
Oh boy!
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay. And what did you have to do to book the festival for anyone? Because a lot of people probably end up on this listening to this will end up doing that in the next few years.
Do it.
What's the process?
Girl, it's so much Googling.
Okay.
No, I'm joking. The person who helped me develop the show in the beginning, his name is Tim Murray. He's so funny. You probably have seen him all over social media. He has a new TV show out with Trixie Mattel, which is insane. Anyway, he has done Fringe, and he was kind of my guru in making the show. So physically, how you do it is they have open submissions. They usually open in like the late fall, and you just research which venues, because there's so many venues in the city, are best for your show, and you apply to them. So it's typically an application. You talk about what your show is, if you have videos, if you have a website, all that stuff, and you just apply to as many venues, I suppose, as you want or you think would be a good fit for you. For example, like you might want to apply to like one of the big fancy ones that all the famous people go to, but if you're a relatively new act and you, like me, and you haven't done Fringe before, you're not going to get that. So you should look for venues that are taking up and coming artists and stuff like that. And apply. It's just online.
And then you rent the space?
Kind of, yeah. So they have the theater that you are for your time slot every day, and you pay the like fee basically for the theater. Helps you do a lot of marketing. They do all the box office stuff. You get a technician through them, and then you sell tickets. So you have the opportunity to like make your money back, but there is a deposit that you pay to be able to use the space. And overall, Fringe is pretty darn expensive, like prohibitively so. You got to do a fundraiser, which I did, and get stuff raised. But you can do it on the cheap. They have things called free Fringe, but I can't really speak to that because that's not what I'm doing. Yeah.
And how have you gone selling tickets and in a place that you're not from, with people that are not American? You know, like it'd be one thing trying to sell tickets in New York,
which I am, and that's also hard. It's
Right.
easier in New York because you know people. The good thing about Fringe is that it draws so many people, like thousands and thousands of people flock to the city for this month of the festival. So like the streets feel like Times Square level busy. People are walking around, and you have flyers you hand out, and you have like a gimmick to hand out these flyers and get people to see your show. So excuse me, unlike in New York, if someone hands you a flyer in Times Square, you're probably not going to come see the show. But at the Fringe, everyone is kind of bought in and knows that that's what's happening. So they might hear through word of mouth that, oh, I heard that Lizzy Sunshine show is really good. I'm going to go check that out. Or maybe I go do a 5-minute stand-up slot or a 5-minute bit from my show on a different person's show. And they're like, oh, I want to go see hers. So it's very kind of word of mouth festival vibes. And in addition to that, I do now have a publicist for Fringe specifically. So I don't have a publicist here, excuse me, in New York, but in Fringe it's like kind of a must do because they know about the media outlets that I don't know. So my publicist, I pay her, and she made a press release that she sends out to like I got a podcast from it. I got a couple interviews. I was on a radio station. They post articles and you do interviews because it's a cool show. It's a cool story coming from New York, and that's just kind of what the environment around Fringe becomes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's anyway. I'm really impressed.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I can't wait to hear about it.
And you got to come see the show.
Yeah, I will. We'll talk after
and
this.
And please bring everyone you know.
Okay.
And everyone, yeah.
Everyone?
Yeah, everyone, and people you hate, people you all of them.
Okay, I'll bring everyone.
Perfect. It's gonna sell out.
So did you grow up in New York? What's your story?
No, I grew up in Iowa. Okay. So in the middle of the country.
Is that considered the Midwest?
Sure is. Okay. It's like the most Midwest. In fact.
Are you below the Mason-Dixon line?
I think I'm above it.
Yeah.
I don't have a strong visual on the Mason-Dixon line right now, unfortunately.
I only just learned about that the other day.
Yeah, I'm like, what? How do you even know what that is? You're not supposed to know what that is. That's for locals only.
So Iowa.
To Iowa. Yeah, middle of the country. My family was like actually Greek immigrants that ended up there on my dad's side. Like that's how we ended up in Iowa.
Okay, yeah, you do look like you have a bit of European in you. You got the dark features.
Yeah, I love it.
Had a bit of something
spicy
in you.
white.
Yeah,
a little something. Yeah, just right. Don't get too excited. Just right, just regular. Yeah, just regular. Unfortunate, but my parents still live in the house where I grew up in, so it was a really good place to grow up.
Wow.
And it never occurred to anyone, including my own family, that like I would stay there. So I was like, I'm gonna get out of this town and make it to the big city. I always wanted to to leave and go somewhere big and do something cool. So I went to college in Chicago and then moved here.
Nice. And were you doing acting in school?
Girl, yeah. Even more than I did do it in school, but my theater director in my high school was kind of the pits. Sorry. And so there was a community theater, which is just like a local run by these incredible people, a husband and wife duo that made this theater. And it was a very tight-knit community. And I did that growing up for years. Like every show they did, I was in. We did plays and musicals, and we actually had a sketch comedy group called the Laughleets. And we did a brand new sketch comedy show every month. Like we did, mini SNL in Iowa.
That's awesome.
It was. I was 13, man. So I really grew up in this, like, raised in the theater hippie vibe. Like that was my second family besides my family. And it's definitely why I am the way that I am and like love musicals and love performing and everything.
And is a place like Iowa pretty nurturing with that sort of thing? Like, is there opportunities? Could you stay in a place like Iowa and have the same opportunities, or do you really have to move to
you certainly, professional opportunities, I think you have to move. I will say, I can't speak for all of Iowa. There's a lot of places in Iowa that are like more rural or more red leaning. Like my particular county and city where I grew up in the Quad Cities, way more like stuff going on. It's more of a metropolis. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of theater in the state in general, and definitely in my city. So I could have stayed. They had a comedy sports, there's stuff that you can do. They have a professional theater. They have stuff in the town, but for the level that my crazy brain wanted to do it, I wasn't going to stay in Iowa for it, but they do have a lot of theater in Iowa.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And what's it like then going from a sort of I'm assuming what was your town like? What was the population?
Pretty small, girl. I need to Google. Sorry, I keep calling you girl. It's not you. It's like the universal girl.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, I'm Googling.
It's more than okay. You call me whatever you want.
The population of the Quad Cities. Oh my gosh, in real time, 100,000 people.
That's not. Yeah, that's small.
Yeah.
That is very small.
Mm-hmm. Well, that feels right. Or maybe, I've lied. That's of one of the four, because it's a quad city. So of all the area combined, it's closer to 450,000.
Does that feel right?
That feels right.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I just had to fact check myself. I don't want to be spreading fake news on the podcast.
So what's it like then going from like mid-level, feels right kind of city, 400,000, to then going to Chicago to study. What were you studying?
Radio, television, film was the name of the major. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah. I should have done theater. How did it feel? Oh my gosh, it felt scary because scary is the wrong word. It gave me weird imposter syndrome. Like it never occurred to me in high school that I wasn't like myself and doing the right thing. And like I didn't really like party and drink in high school. Like I was way too busy doing theater and like trying to get the best grades possible. Like I am a tryhard, like bona fide tryhard.
Really?
Yes. I did not get my first B until like college. Like,
no.
Yeah.
Was that devastating?
Yes. It was earth shattering. It was physics and it was horrible. It was horrible. So anyway, I really like was an overachiever. And so when I got to Northwestern, everyone's an overachiever because it's a very competitive school in the States. Yeah, very intense.
So that would have been very humbling.
Humbling. I mean, I was glad to even have gotten accepted, and I loved going there. And there was just so many people and so many things I had never experienced. And it was kind of like I was always afraid, like, oh, everyone seemed cooler than me. And so I got this weird thing where I was like, I gotta be cool. Like everyone was from New York and LA. And like, I'm from Iowa. Like there was a lot of focus to be cool, but the film majors people were cool. So
how did that work for you? Like trying to be cool?
Not well at all. I like kind of lost myself. I listened to a lot of like medium rap. Like I listened to a lot of Migos in college and I was like, this is me, man.
It could be worse. There's a lot of people go down different paths to try and be cool.
Oh, like
there's
drugs.
Like the partying and drugs.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I did do drugs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of course. I know.
You
get
have
me
to.
wrong. Yeah, I'm not a freaking loser. Not lame. But don't do drugs. But I did do drugs, and
Moderation,
I did.
Guys.
Yeah, of course. And you just have to learn what like is and isn't you. But I would say generally, I was very concerned with like what would be the right thing to say that would be funny to people, and like because I did Second City during undergrad, and I was like young, and everyone was an adult and older than me, so I felt this need to be like slightly other than who I am. I'm doing this as if this is my face, and like real me is here, and then this me is over here. Yeah, but it got better, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough time. I remember when I finished school and
Yeah.
and I went into the workforce as a apprentice electrician, but I didn't know.
What?
I
You were an
didn't-
electrician?
Yeah.
That's so powerful.
19 years.
Do you still do it?
Yeah, I can still do it. I'm still
You
licensed,
can.
but just not. I'm not licensed in New York.
Yeah.
I was doing it up until I left and came here.
Yeah, yeah. What a good skill to have. People don't have skills anymore.
It's good to have a skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and be able to do something with your hands. Like when things all fall apart, you're going to be the one that everyone calls on.
Yeah, just not in my own home.
Really?
Yeah, it's this thing in like, I think chefs have the same thing, you know, like you ever hear like a chef doesn't cook in his own home? I know, yeah, electrician, like blue collar workers, they always put off their own stuff.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Yeah, you just don't feel like doing it.
Yeah,
at home.
you do it all day and then you're like, eh. But I have renovated home, so I have done my own stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is cool. But I remember that time, like, you know, when you're trying to get like into the workforce, you're like in this whole new world and you're surrounded by these people you don't know, and you don't know, you do lose yourself in those times. You're kind of trying to figure out really quickly.
Yeah.
And sometimes in the worst ways possible.
Yes, and you try to kind of like mirror the people around, or at least I
Yeah.
try to mirror the people around me and be like, okay, like what seems good to say, right? And I don't do it anymore, but that is what you're doing because you're just finding a new version of yourself.
But in a sense, I don't know like what the ratio is, but in a sense, we are a mirror of everyone we ever meet and every interaction we ever have.
Oh my, the drugs are working.
It's just what part you choose, right?
100%. Yeah,
in
of course.
a sense.
No one has ever had an original thought in their life. You know what I mean? Like everything is because everything is of something else. Your thoughts. I don't mean like people aren't original. There's a lot of originality, but like your ideas and who you are come from what you've seen.
Yeah.
And typically, I'm trying to remember who said it. I think it was Seinfeld said it, where it's like the funniest people he's ever met are like the guys he grew up with. Like those are the funniest people, and then he just kept doing it.
Yeah.
And he just kept doing it. And did it on stage. But I think that's so true. Like the funniest people I know are not stand-up comedians at all.
100%.
They don't want to do it. They're just actually being funny. And then we're the people who are like, no, I'm gonna do it for people.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna do it for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think it means to find yourself? Because like I've had comics in here that I've like Al Lubell. I don't know if you know him. He's a veteran. He's been in the game for like 40 years.
He's a veteran of the military? No, comedy.
Comedy,
Okay,
yeah.
yes,
Comedy
more
veteran.
important.
Yeah. Way more important. Serving his community.
I'm just kidding.
But his whole life mission was to be himself, to find himself and to be himself.
Wow.
And he would often lose spots because he would like get weird on stage and then the bookers would be like, we can't really have you in our club.
What kind of get weird?
He does a lot of jokes that are very like cerebral. You have to really think about them and they're very weird. I can't really explain it.
Okay, no, I can get the picture,
but
I think.
He said, you know, it was more important to me in that time to be myself, like to be me and to find out who I am. And every time I would lose spots, I would then get a little bit closer to who I was. So it was this contradiction of like how much to be me and then how much not to be me. Because if I be me too much, then I lose opportunities. But then if I'm not me, then I don't like me.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and then he also probably isn't going to be getting any better because the more you're doing just you, the closer you're getting to like getting, you know, all the spots in the world because you're being just you. That's super interesting. I want to meet this person.
yeah, he's a super interesting guy.
Yeah.
And so do you think this like
Take on that.
what you're doing it sounds like that's what you're on. You're on this journey of like discovering who you are and you're like this crazy girl that likes to act and do like
and do like musicals. Yeah, I will say I think it's spot on. I agree that as we are getting older, like as I get older and get closer to my true self was who I was when I was 11. I had this really cool spiritual moment, and I want to bring it up to you because I really loved. I saw a set of yours, and you did this joke where you told the story of doing ayahuasca. That's that has stuck with me. I've told people about that story and that joke because the takeaway from that is like so spot on. So in that same kind of...
Thank you, by the way.
Yes, you're so welcome. I mean it. I really do. In that same vein of like telling ourselves whatever, coming back to self, I had this very kind of trippy thing happen to me earlier this year, middle of last, I don't remember, but I had this, I think I was like falling asleep. You know when you're going to nap and you have visions? So
yes.
I was having a vision. And the vision, I was like in my old childhood home in Iowa, and I opened the door and I see my little 11-year-old self, Lizzy, playing in there because that was her little room. And I'm like, what are you doing in here? She's like, I've been here. And I'm like, you've just been in here by yourself this whole time? Like since you were 11? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, I didn't, this is my room. You left me here. And I was like, and I grabbed her little hand. This is crazy for the weird. I'm weird. I'm a weirdo.
I love this shit.
Okay. I grabbed her little hand and I was like, you're going to live in my room now. And like, my room is your room and I'm never going to leave you alone again. And then she came with me, and that's metaphorically she came with me. But now like you should see truly how even my room here in New York is decorated. It looks so much more like my childhood room. The outfits I wear, the way that I talk, boldly being like, oh, I don't like that, or I love that, and not being as ashamed, because that's how little kids are. I don't like it, or I like it. Like, somehow it's been really coming back to that version of myself who went by Lizzy, not Liz, even though it's a very cool name, Liz Coyne, right? No,
very
that's cool girl. But like, that's not who I'm. Lizzy. And I'm her, and she's in her little room, and she's playing, and she's doing funny voices and entertaining herself because she's 11. So it's like, no, you live in my room now. You're with me. And
wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You like it?
Yeah.
And anytime that I'm feeling like activated, like I'm pointing to my chest, because like anytime I'm feeling anxious, like, oh, I'm in a room full of stand-ups and everyone's mean and I don't know if they're gonna like my weird priest bit I'm gonna try, right? And I'm having a moment of freak out. That's Liz, right? That's like this, I quote Liz, that's this old version, this like masked up version of me that's really good at emails and making things happen. And she's worried. So then I have to go back to little Lizzy and be like, no, like, this is my, like, Lizzy kind of got it. Lizzy has now I sound crazy. Like,
no,
I have
you don't.
Split personality. But Lizzy's kind of this artistic part of me, and Liz is more like the admin, like, never got a B on a test Liz. And so the two of them combined, I think, is what is making holistic me move towards success. Because I'm not totally stuck on artistic like focuses. I like still can like send an email and make shit happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have
amazing.
two brain. Yeah.
Well, I've had lots of spiritual moments myself. I'm a bit of a spiritual seeker.
Hell yeah.
So I can relate. I once had this dream. It was actually quite a profound dream. It was after my ayahuasca trip, and I was traveling. It was I did like a solo backpacking trip through South America, quite a long one.
Whoa.
And and I had this dream where I saw myself doing the things that I was doing, just like going and interacting with people, going to parties, and I was watching myself. And I remember thinking consciously in my dream, I was like, hey, I really like this guy. It was like the first time that I'd ever thought, hey, I can get around who he is. It was a turning point in my life. But going back to what you said,
that's so cool.
Thank you. With being a kid, I've often thought that as well. Like, it's like, I think of like, when was the times that I was like the most happiest, like carefree? Like high school, it was tumultuous. I had a bit of a tumultuous relationship with my dad, and I was like kind of rebelled, finishing school, got into drugs, got into partying, in the workforce straight away. It was a lot of fun, but it was very like straight into the adult life.
Yeah.
I didn't get that university fun time. Kind of started to get it back, but I realized that as a kid, that was when I was carefree. I was funny. I was the class clown at school. I was popular. Like, I like made everyone laugh. And
okay, flex.
But it is. So how do we get back to that place? How do we consciously every day get back to that carefree place? Because if you can hone in on that, that kid that you grabbed the hand and said, "Hey, you're mine," like that. Yep. How do you? Then you've kind of got it made, haven't you? At least if you can incorporate a fair chunk of the element inside your heart.
And it is in my heart. You have to do it It's like a choice every day, and it is going to feel weird. It's a big shift, but I feel like that what we are talking about is what it means to be an artist. It is the decision every day to like, oh, this might look cringy, I'm doing it anyway. It's the dismissal of the like adult voice telling you like, oh, this might be bad. Yeah, I don't care if it's bad. It's true of me. Kids are not thinking, they don't see themselves existing and critique it in real time, which is what adults do,
Yeah,
right?
it's fucking painful.
It's horrible. It's no
is.
fun. And that's why people feel so stuck and people feel so lonely. There's no room for error anymore. And that's the other thing that all of this like talk about artistic and bringing Lizzy on. It doesn't mean that she's going to like I'm going to do a really great job on stage every time. Like it also in bringing her out of her room, whatever you want to call it, embracing my inner artist, is allowing myself to be bad at stuff, is allowing myself to be a beginner. God forbid you try something new. I always had it in my head. I'm like, everything I say has to be funny. I cannot bomb. I've never bombed. I would never bomb. I would never bomb. Oh my gosh. All that means is I'm not trying anything new or risky. I'm not doing anything particularly interesting or things people haven't seen before because I'm so concerned that it's going to be bad that I don't let it be good. And so this new thing I've been doing along with the inner child, whatever, is like, Lizzy, you have permission to bomb. Like this show is like, it's allowed to be bad. It's allowed to, you're going to just, this one doesn't matter. This one, just let's go bomb. And I feel weird saying this on a podcast about doing it at a cool theater like Soho Playhouse, but the only way that show at Soho Playhouse is going to go well is if I go, all right, tonight we're bombing. Yeah. Tonight is going to be a bad one. And if I allow that it could be bad, then it will be good. But if I'm like, okay, Liz, you got to get it right. You cannot. It's Soho Playhouse. You can't screw this up. The show will be way worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such an interesting journey, this, isn't it? It really is. You have to... It challenges every part of your psyche because, you know, it goes against everything we've ever been taught and everything we've been told. It's like we've always had it drilled in us that we've got to do really well, we've got to do great. But in order to do great in the arts, you have to eat shit.
Yeah, you have to eat shit. And that's the only way you get better.
Yeah.
It's so true. I think another thing that's helped me, you were asking like, how can we embrace and like live in our artistry every day, is like journaling and is physically writing more.
And do you think there's a difference between writing or typing?
Sadly, I do. Not when it comes to like, I'm going to write my script or I'm going to write my jokes down. You can type that. But a practice comes from The Artist's Way, which is a great book.
Yeah, I started reading that. I didn't finish it because I've got ADD.
See, there you go. Well, try it again. Dare yourself. It's a 12-week process, and you have to like pledge to yourself you're going to take really good care of yourself for 12 weeks and get into it. But it changed my life, really. And the main thing you do in it is called the morning pages. And that's when you long form write 3 handwritten pages of journaling, whatever, every morning before your day starts. And it's not like writing down joke ideas. It's not anything particularly artistic. Usually it's like my head hurts and I don't want to get up and I'm sick of emailing and so hurt my feelings, and you kind of get out all of this dreck. It's like clearing the cobwebs so that your brain is open then to be creative for the rest of the day. And by writing, it gets you in touch with your own voice. Like you're talking with yourself basically. And that alone has been the most helpful thing for me, like getting better and like getting funnier, like knowing what I think about things because I journal. You
know, I used to journal every day.
Yeah.
I wrote a book as well. I don't know if you know that.
No, I didn't.
I wrote and published a book a few years ago. So I love writing, but just another weird synchronicity or what was the other word you called it?
I don't know.
Anyway.
Magical woo woo time.
Serendipity, that's what you said.
Oh, that's what I said.
So I was barking outside St. Mark's a few weeks ago, and there was this homeless, crazy guy comes up to me.
Oh, no.
And he was like full weird. And he's like, hey, man, you want to know something? And I was like, oh, God, here we fucking go. He's like, I'm a psychic. I can connect with things that you wouldn't even believe. And I was like, okay. He's like, do you want me to do like a reading on you? And I was like, okay. And he comes up to me.
Did he touch your head?
Grabs my head.
Oh my God.
And smells, like sniffs around my ear. Like he goes, and then he goes, you need to journal again. you need to start journaling again. You've lost that part of you, and you need to bring it back.
Are you serious?
Serious.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. We got to find that man. Find that man. Give him, I hope you gave him something. He's right.
Isn't that funny?
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to sniff your head, but I agree that you should start.
Okay.
Yeah, you should start journaling again. That's such a sign. What a sign.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
There you go, guys. Start journaling.
Start journaling. This is a particular ad for journaling. I actually didn't do it this morning, and now in my head, I'm like kicking myself. But I'll do it when I get home.
Is it addictive once you start going? Like because anything in life is a habit.
Yeah.
If you form a habit, it becomes a lot easier.
Yeah.
Like just like going to the gym, like performing stand up, going.
Yeah. I wish going to the gym were a habit for me. I wouldn't say it's addictive. I would say it's a habit.
Okay.
Because there's some days you have to. Oh, that's another thing with like embracing your inner artist is like you really have to let go of all or nothing. Because like if there is a day where I don't journal, old me would have been like, well, I'm off that, not gonna do that anymore. But now if like there's a day I don't do it, I'm like, okay, I just didn't do it that day, and I'll do it the next day. So it's definitely a habit. That's a helpful habit, I think.
Yeah, it's How did you overcome the voice? You know,
did I? I don't think I did.
Well, I mean, you're doing it.
I'm trying.
You're doing it. You're going after it. You know, you're putting all the chess pieces in motion. You're doing it.
Thank you.
You've now booked a show. You're doing an hour, which is fucking incredible.
Thank you.
And you're still so young. So, I mean, I can only imagine your future is going to be amazing.
Thank you. That's very nice.
How did you get rid of the voice? Because we all have the voice, you know, the voice that tells you you're no good and you're worthless, you suck.
You should not try
you're
to
gay,
do this.
You're a fucking loser.
You're a loser. You're not funny.
Yeah.
You're not special
Kill
enough.
yourself.
Mine thankfully doesn't usually say that. It just says like, you should have been a doctor.
That sounds like my mum.
Really? Yeah, I know.
And then she was like, you should have married a doctor.
Oh, well, there's still time for me to marry a doctor. Yeah. So if any doctors are listening to this.
Shout out doctors. Come on. We got a good lady here.
Good lady. I'm a good lady. I'll keep it interesting and contribute nothing financially.
That's the artist way, baby.
That is the artist way. Oh, the voice. The voice. The voice, yeah. Is your voice the voice that you're talking about? Is it your own voice, or whose voice do you hear when you hear those words?
I mean, it's in my own voice. I think it's my voice.
It's your own voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's my own voice too. But
who knows where it comes from? Like, where does anything come from? I don't know.
Yeah, for me, it comes from like you don't want to fail. It's like the fear of failure, or honestly, for me, it's my biggest fear is like being like the jig being up and like everyone finding out I'm actually a fraud and like I'm like like they're all gonna find out that I'm just lying and I'm not actually good at this and I'm just a girl.
I feel like that all the time. Yeah.
It's an imposter syndrome, right? It's
Seriously.
the imposter. But
in Australia, we call it tall poppy syndrome as well.
What is it?
Tall poppy syndrome. Like, actually, it's sort of different. Actually, it's not the same thing.
Okay, but what does that mean?
Tall poppy syndrome is when people around you kind of shoot you down. When you're sort of starting to succeed, they cut the poppy down, you know, and mow the grass so everything's at the same level because they don't want to see. But I guess we do that within ourselves sometimes as well. So totally, you have to like let your poppy grow. I love poppies. Yeah, they're beautiful. Yeah, my the voice, the way that I combat the voice. You know, my friend Sophie taught me this. Her voice, especially when it's being mean and being dumb, she pretends that the voice in her head is Mitch McConnell. And then she's like, that's stupid, Mitch McConnell, sit down. Like, no one wants to hear you talk. And she'll literally, like, she characterized him into someone who she doesn't care to listen to. Wow. And she'll be like, oh my God, Mitch McConnell really has the mic today, huh? And like make him into this like other thing in her head that's like a not her. I think that language is really helpful, and getting really clear about like the parts of you. So like, let's say you're getting really activated before a show. So like for me, I have a show coming up on the 25th and it's at 54 Below, which is a very exciting big venue if you're a musical theater type person, but I'm doing stand up on it. And I'm like, oh, immediately I feel the part of me that's imposter syndrome or is like afraid. That's like, oh, Liz, like, don't mess that one up. Like, that's a big one. That's a real big one. You're doing your big one. Like, you gotta prepare. And I will prepare. So it's when you feel that starting to come up, I don't turn him into Mitch McConnell, but just kind of give him the amount of space he's allowed to have and then be like, oh, I totally hear you. Sit down, and then the rest of me can come and handle it. So it's like, instead of trying to totally get rid of that voice, which I don't think you can, I think the voice will always be there.
and will always be there because we have shame. We're humans. We have to critique something. We have to maintain a level head, otherwise you lose the plot. But it's acknowledging the voice and not immediately taking it as true. Because your feelings are feelings, but they're not necessarily actionable. So like I feel that way, acknowledge, and then let it go. It's like a fly. And you just like let the fly away.
Do you meditate?
Yeah, I try to. I don't, not with any regularity.
No.
But I should.
It's important.
Okay, well, I'll write that down.
Yeah, write it down.
I'll
Put it in your
write that
journal.
Yeah, right. That's very important. Very important business matters. No, I should meditate more. I have a really awesome therapist that focuses on somatic stuff. Now we're getting real woo-woo.
What's somatic?
Somatic means with your body. So if you ever hear like of a symptom being psychosomatic, like so somatic is all about being in the body. And something I've learned for us anxious people, and especially comedians, when we're all in our heads and we're coming up with stuff and we're riffing, you really exist in your head and you think that that's where your feelings live. But realistically, your feelings are not feelings are like fear or anger, like these kind of basic level feelings. They also live in your body. And this sounds woo-woo, but if you can kind of get in touch, like you have anxious tummy, like, oh God, my stomach hurts. Or for me, it's often right here on my sternum. It's like this clutching feeling of like, oh, right? Like if you can sit with that, like literally put your hand on it and like sit with where you're feeling it in your body, you can process it, whatever. You can like let the feeling feel in its full cycle and then go away more easily, instead of like letting feelings get trapped in your body and then you have like tech neck or like you have a weird, hip pain or something.
Yeah.
Like feelings can kind of live in your body.
Oh yeah, I believe that all sicknesses come from storing bad energies.
Yeah.
That's my sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. It lives, then you get that negative emotion or feeling then just gets stored. It creates inflammation, then it can create other things. Like it's a hot spot inside your body essentially. And
I think that's true. I mean, and sometimes obviously there's illnesses that are just so like that seemingly come from absolutely nowhere, and I can't believe that they're just from that negative energy. Those feel something external.
Of course.
But I agree with you. Like if you have chronic headaches, or like for me in college, this is a good one. For me in college, I had IBS so bad. Like my stomach hurt all the time. I was like the queen of the tummy aches back in the day. I literally pooped my pants on campus twice. So thank you so much.
Legend.
Fist bump. Thank you. Yeah. Just hug girl.
You haven't lived until
But you haven't lived.
You haven't lived until you you have to.
That's when you learn. Talk about when you learn how to treat who you are, right? I'm telling you. But
there's nothing better than a day where you just think you got to fart and I just followed through.
You followed through.
Yeah.
Hey, and that's because you're a doer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. But just the IBS thing. So I had really bad tummy pains and stuff like that. And then I started I wasn't performing very much back then. I wasn't like really being true to myself. And once I started like performing more and like being who I was and trying to be more artistic, I don't have IBS anymore. I can drink milk without like having issues.
That's
like,
amazing.
I cured my IBS, and that's not true for everyone. Some people really do have gastrointestinal issues, but for me anyway, my gut was directly tied with my anxiety. And now, like, if something is bothering me and I'm anxious, I'll feel it in my tummy. It's like a familiar, gurgle, gurgle kind of feeling.
Yeah.
And something I learned with that's really interesting is that the only places in your body where serotonin exists are your brain and then your gut, your tummy.
Yeah.
Your gut is like they call it your second brain. So if you have a gut feeling, we live by the gut feeling. I always say, in guts we trust.
In guts we trust.
I journal that as like a sign off sometimes on my journal, because I love to sign off on my journaling, and it usually ends with "in guts we trust."
That's awesome.
Yeah. I have never told anyone that out loud before. Now I am.
I really like that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's all you. You got it.
It's very profound.
We trust.
Yeah. Well, they say every decision should come from the gut, like any big decision, because it's a true. It knows. It knows. Your gut knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the hardest part is when your gut starts to get muddied, and that's what happens when you're not being your true self. And your friend, what was his name? Who we were talking about before, the stand-up, who you said is his true self all the time?
Alabel.
Yeah, he oh my God, let me not lose the train. Let me lose this full train of thought.
Guts.
I was really, guts. When you are not living in accordance to your guts, that's when bad things start to happen. That's what he's feeling. He's really sounds like someone who's living by his gut.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he's like, I have to be myself. I have to do this.
Yeah.
And I think all of the issues come from when you're trying to be something else or you're being your not self. That's when you're not listening to your gut is when you're going to be unhappy. It's like, I'm doing this job because I want to make money and my parents told me to, but I actually would rather teach yoga. That is directly going against your gut.
But then there's also an area. So I'll try and explain. So there's an area I think in which is kind of grey, because when you're changing your life, like when you're going, because like I've taken a leap of faith into this realm, right? And my life at home was very different. So I've had to go and am continuing to go through this transition where I don't know which one to trust, because I haven't been sitting in this space for long enough. Like my gut, in a sense, is telling me to keep going here, but then I have days where it's telling me to go home.
Go home, man. Yeah.
You know, because that's hard. That's a hard place to be in.
Yeah. Well, it does sound like you should journal. No. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, definitely. 100% should.
It is helpful, the journaling, but I totally hear what you're saying. Sometimes our gut is like misleading, because it's like your gut. I think that feeling is like, that's the fear.
Yeah.
And it's in a similar place in your body.
I think you're
probably.
right. I think you're right.
That's the fear, and the fear is always going to be there. And fear is very important. It tells us so much. What we're scared of tells us so much about who we are, and what we fear doing is often like pointing you in the right direction, and you have to like get past the fear to do the thing. Like everything I'm doing right now, I am scared to death. Like if you read my journal, so often it's like, I'm so scared. I'm so scared to do the Fringe. I'm scared to do my show. I'm scared it's going to be bad. I'm scared. And then I close the journal and I go do it anyway. That's the leap of the artistry. It's not overcoming fear and that you don't have it. It's that you have it and you do it anyway. I hope.
I think you're 100% right.
Yeah.
This whole process of being an artist is an unraveling.
Yeah.
It's like a peeling back the layers. Like,
yeah.
It's like, you know, like when you go to a dentist and you've got plaque on your teeth or whatever, and he just grinds it back, and he's like, I feel like it's kind of like that. We're just constantly like just grinding back these layers that we formed, which weren't true.
Yeah.
Which were, you know, society, you know, or parents or some, you know, these shells that we just kept putting on ourselves. And then now we've got to like fucking break out of it
and get to the core tooth. Get the tooth without any of the plaque is you in your most pure form, your child form, typically. At least for comedians and for artists. And I think personally that's why people who are not in an artistic path, like a lot of my friends work in finance and are not at all artists, when they see someone who is doing that, who has bare teeth exposed with no plaque, if we're using that metaphor, who's totally raw, it's so easy to be like, oh my God, they're crazy. Like that girl's nuts. Like what, she doesn't have a job. Like it's so easy to kind of be like, she like for me, like I cry frequently at like commercials, whatever, because when you're an artist, you live exposed. You live very much like with no barrier to you, because you're just like, here I am 100% me. It's much more vulnerable of a place to be. You don't have the protective layers. And so I think when I meet people who are not trying to be artists, they often look at me like, oh, she's really doing her thing, huh? Wow. That's one. Yeah, good. I hope it works out. Like, cool. You know, like there's a bit of a judgment, or like a, you know, do you know the energy I'm talking about?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So it's also like publishing your own stuff, like what you do, what I do with this podcast.
Yeah, and your book. That's cool.
And the book, that also takes a lot, you know, because you're revealing, every week I reveal a part of myself with other guests, you know, comedy, I'm revealing parts of myself, but it does take a lot to reveal yourself, you know, and expose yourself and be very honest with yourself and honest with people around you. And that takes a lot of adjusting as well. Like, I did a podcast a few weeks ago with a guy, and I published it yesterday. And then he messaged me last night and said, "Hey man, I need you to delete it, delete the podcast, delete the reels, because there's things in there that I don't want my boss to know about." There was nothing that he said was controversial. It was like he was talking about like how we were talking about. He's a like a osteopath, and we were talking about how blue light is bad for you. Wireless headphones are bad for you, like, and it can cause cancer. We're talking about like a lot of woo-woo stuff, like the COVID vaccine stuff. Him and I are both kind of interested in, and how a lot of the things that we get told in life aren't real, or there's like a lot of grey area. And anyway, him telling me to delete it, I was really disappointed. Not because of like, obviously I put in a lot of time and energy and money into each episode to get it going. There's a lot of work that goes on the back end. That was disappointing, but it was more that I was disappointed for him that like he couldn't live through his truth. He couldn't stand up and be like, no, well, this is what I believe. Because I believe at the end of the day, that is going to get you further than someone being mad at you for saying something that...
Yeah. That you said you shouldn't have said that. Yeah.
So it's like speaking your truth, isn't it? This journey.
That's such an interesting example, because if he really is an osteopath and he's a doctor, it sounds like he's working, like that is a lot more to lose. So if his boss, like if he really genuinely thought he was going to get fired, I'm confused why he kind of did I mean, part of him wanted to do the podcast and share these things because he believes it. But to backtrack is interesting, and that's just on fear.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even I get scared sometimes. Like literally, I am still thinking in the back of my head that earlier when I said I did drugs in college, I'm like, oh God, my family's I shouldn't have said that. Like even
we can cut it.
No, I don't care. No, I know that's the thing. Like now that I'm coming into my authentic self, like that's true. Like don't cut it. Like you know what I mean,
who hasn't done drugs in college?
I know.
God, who hasn't smoked a bit of weed here and there, or done a little bit of E at a festival or something? Come on.
Yeah. I mean, and it's just that's the kind of thing I think. Exposing your authentic self is always going to be scary, and it's funny because it's like part of me is like, I hate doing that. It's more fun to show people the mask, and this is very much the theme of my show. The whole theme of Lizzy Sunshine is this character's putting on this kind of mask and this performance, really this like crazy double act done by herself. And at the end of my show, I don't want to spoil it, but there's this big kind of dramatic moment where it kind of the mask kind of crumbles down and the world kind of converges on her, and she has to look at the audience and be honest. It's the most vulnerable thing I've ever done, not even just on stage, but like truly as a human being, because I'm just telling the whole truth. And a lot of the show and Lizzy Sunshine and characters and even stand-up, all this stuff, a lot of it is a little bit lying. It's putting on this version that I would like for you to see. I want to manage your perception of me in the way I'm presenting myself. And my goal at the end of Lizzy Sunshine, truthfully, is to shed that, if I can. Sometimes it's very hard, especially when you're in show producer mode, but to truly shed that and look the audience in their eyes. And it's in clown school, they call it complicité, seeing. I see you, you see me, and exist truly just raw and be like, this is me and this is what I have to say. It's so hard. It's so hard. And the show ends with, it ends with the audience giving me some sunshine back, since I've given so much to them. And the hardest part of the show is allowing myself to accept it from the audience in my raw form and not my Lizzy Sunshine joke form. But I do it every day on stage. So part of me, whoever wrote that, sometimes I'm like, who the hell wrote this fucking script that I'm reading? But it was me some other time ago in a coffee shop probably. And so now that I'm doing it all the time, I'm like, I really needed that, otherwise I wouldn't have written it that way.
Oh man, how did you even come up with this? Like, it's crazy.
Well, and this is where I start
really
getting more spiritual. I believe when you're artistic, when you ever get like a really like a spark of idea.
Yep.
I believe that is like of God or of universe.
Of course it is.
It's 100%.
Of course it is.
So when it happens, all we really are just the kind of the channel. And our only job is to create or come out of ourselves insofar as we were created to be. Right? So for me in that moment, to not write down the idea that like came in my head, like that's denying my gut. That's denying God. Like I'm supposed to write down and try it out and try to do that. Like I don't know where it came from. I didn't come up with it. I just put it down. That's actually from the artist way. I can't take that. Like we aren't coming up with ideas. We're getting ideas down. Yeah. Like your idea is almost like it's like downloaded into your brain, and your job is to channel it out. Yeah. You aren't really supposed to grind that hard. Like when I'm really in the flow of writing and pages help me get there, it's not because I'm like, okay, Liz, white knuckle, you have to go right now. I mean, sometimes you have to do it that way. But ideally, if you kind of stay open and you keep your channel open and uncorked and you're in alignment with who you're supposed to be or who you naturally are, then all of this shit's going to come to you. Money will come to you. Like, you're in your creative channel. You're in alignment. And when you're out of alignment, it's way harder to write. So this play, everything, how I came up with it is because I allowed myself to be in alignment and then write things down.
It's really cool.
And watch everyone hate the play. They're like, yeah, that's so cool, Liz. Sounds like you have a lot of feelings. Oh, imagine. Yeah.
Well, I think that's a really good place to end it.
Okay.
I think it's been it has been an absolute pleasure having you on.
Yeah, thank
Truly.
you.
Do you want to give everyone your socials, where they can find you?
Hi, everyone. Please follow me at Liz Coin. That's my name for all social media. And come check out Lizzy Sunshine, whether it's in New York City here at Soho Playhouse or at the Tank this month, July, or if it's at Edinburgh Fringe. Check me out, and thank you for listening.
Liz Coin, guys, follow her. She's an absolute legend, as you can see. Radiant joy of light and love. So, guys, follow her. Follow the podcast. Get after it. It's been a pleasure, Liz.
Yes, in Guts We Trust.
In Guts We Trust. See you on the next one, guys.